The chair was missing. Not broken, not pushed aside, missing, like it had never been meant for me. Crystal clinked, linen whispered, Rome glowed gold through the arched windows, the kind of light painters chase their whole lives. My mother-in-law sat at the head of the table, pearls catching the candlelight, smiling like a queen receiving tribute. My husband stood behind her chair, hands resting where ownership masquerades as affection. I counted the seats once, then again. My name didn't exist in the math. "Oops," he chuckled, light as a coin tossed into a fountain. "Guess we miscounted." Laughter rose, soft, polite, Italian vowels curling like smoke. A family laugh, warm, excluding. I felt it then, not surprise, recognition. I smiled, slow, measured, the kind of smile that buys time. Seems I'm not family. I didn't wait for the air to thicken. I turned, heels quiet on marble, spine straight, pulse steady. I walked out while violins tuned somewhere far above me. 30 minutes later, they discovered I had canceled everything. The venue, the catering, the musicians, the wine shipment stuck at customs by a phone call I'd placed 2 days earlier. The cake, handcrafted, obscene, never left the bakery. The river terrace went dark. Contracts dissolved like sugar in espresso. I wasn't there to see their faces, but I can tell you how they looked, because I planned that too. I didn't always speak in exits and erasures. There was a time I believed in joining, in weaving myself into a family like thread through silk. I met him in Florence, under a bridge that smelled of riverstone and old secrets. He watched me watch the water, said he liked women who paused before speaking. I told him I liked men who noticed. We were careful at first, espresso mornings, long walks. He learned my silences. I learned his ambitions. He said he wanted a partner, not a shadow, not a trophy, a mind. I believed him because belief was cheaper than doubt, and I was rich in hope then. His mother took my hands the first time we met, squeezed like she was testing fruit. "You'll make him strong," she said, as if I were a vitamin. I smiled and nodded, filed the comment away. I've always kept files. The wedding was intimate, sunlight, applause like rain, promises said with the right gravity. He cried. I didn't. I was busy memorizing the sound of his voice when he vowed. The first betrayal wasn't loud. It never is. It was small delays, a phone turned face down, meetings that grew legs and walked into the night, compliments delivered like invoices, precise, impersonal. His laughter changed. It left the room early. I noticed patterns the way some people notice weather. I didn't accuse. I observed. I learned his tells, the way he touched his watch when lying, the way he used my name when performing sincerity. Then came the message, not sent to me, not meant for me. A name that wasn't mine lit his screen at 1:17 a.m. A single sentence, careless and intimate, a promise shaped like a blade. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I closed my eyes and breathed until my pulse stopped arguing with my skull. Control isn't absence of feeling. It's choosing which feeling gets the microphone. I waited. I waited because time is a weapon if you sharpen it. I learned everything after that, not by snooping, by listening. Money trails speak louder than lovers. I read bank statements like novels. I read emails like confessions. I learned where the leverage lived. His mother knew, not the details, the permission. She hosted dinners that excluded me in spirit before they excluded me in furniture. She smiled when I spoke and corrected me gently, publicly, like a child being trained. She praised his independence when I asked questions. She praised his discretion when I asked for honesty. Families don't always betray with knives. Sometimes they do it with place settings. I adjusted my posture. I kept contributing. I planned the Rome birthday dinner myself, the venue on the Tiber, the chef flown in from Naples, the quartet.
the candles shaped like small suns. I signed every contract in my name. I also met with a lawyer, quiet, precise. We discussed marital assets, jurisdiction, and timing. I asked what silence cost. I asked what speed bought. I asked how to make absence loud. I moved money where it could breathe without him. I froze what I could freeze. I documented everything with dates and calm annotations. I became a ghost in my own marriage, but a meticulous one. Revenge isn't rage. Rage is sloppy. Revenge is architecture.
The night of the dinner, I dressed in black. Not mourning, authority. I wore the earrings he bought me in Florence, the ones he said matched my thinking face. I arrived early. I watched the room wake up. I counted the chairs. When the last one vanished, I understood the message wasn't meant for me. It was meant to be seen. "Oops," he said. I smiled. "Seems I'm not family." I walked out because staying would have been a favor. Outside, Rome held me like it always does, ancient, indifferent, magnificent. I made 3 calls while the city breathed around me. The venue manager first, the caterer second, the quartet's agent third. Contracts are promises with teeth. By the time the laughter curdled into confusion, it was done. I went home, packed what mattered, left what didn't. I poured a glass of water and drank it like medicine. My phone lit up. Missed calls multiplied, messages stacked. The tone shifted from amusement to irritation to fear. I didn't answer. The confrontation came later. It always does. He arrived with apologies that smelled like strategy. He blamed logistics. He blamed misunderstandings. He blamed me for being sensitive. I watched him talk. I let him finish. Then I slid the folder across the table. Bank records, messages, dates. The lawyer's card on top like a punctuation mark. "This isn't about the chair," I said. "It's about the math." He reached for my hand. I moved mine away, slow enough to be educational. His mother called. I didn't pick up. The divorce was efficient. Painful things can be efficient if you refuse theatrics. He lost access to what he thought was shared. He lost the story he told about me. He lost the audience. I kept my name. I kept my money. I kept my sleep. Weeks later, I heard about the dinner, how guests stood awkwardly while staff whispered, how candles burned down to nothing, how my mother-in-law demanded explanations from people who didn't owe her any, how my husband laughed again too loudly, trying to pretend chaos was comedy. Rome remembers everything. It just doesn't testify. I do. I'm not proud of the hurt. I'm proud of the clarity, of choosing the moment, of leaving without begging for a seat at a table designed to make me invisible. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it cancels the reservation and walks into the night, heels quiet, spine straight, knowing exactly how many chairs were counted and why one was removed.